The stone with a man inside. On the Anthropos as Homo Maximus. In a cliff face high above a valley, there was a stone. The stone was very old. It was the size of a small house. It was darker than the rock around it, weathered, indistinguishable in outline to the casual eye, but unmistakable to anyone who looked long enough. It had been on the cliff since the cliff had been a cliff. The valley below it, with its village and its road and its slow river, had grown up over many centuries with the stone above. The villagers had always seen it. The villagers had never, in any generation, climbed up to it. There had been in the village's long memory a story about the stone. The story said that something was inside the stone. The story did not, in most generations, agree on what. In one generation, the elders said the stone contained a treasure. In another, they said it contained a curse. In another, they said it contained nothing, and that the story itself was the only thing the stone contained, a story passed from generation to generation, a story that the village used to think with, but that referred to no inside. In one generation, in a very old book of the village, it had been said simply, a man. This was the generation in which a young stoneworker, in his 21st year, read the old book. He had been an apprentice to the village's master stoneworker, who had inherited his trade from his own master, who had inherited it from his. The masters of the line had each in their time considered climbing to the stone. None of them had. The young stoneworker, reading the old book, asked his master why. "It is a long climb," said the master. "How long? 3 days each way. The cliff is bad." And after the climb, the master considered. After the climb, he said, the stone has to be opened. Stone, I am told, cannot be broken by striking. The masters of our line have, when they have thought about it, understood that the stone has to be weighted at. The waiting is, I am told, very long. None of us has had the time. How long is the waiting? The master shrugged. I do not know, many years. The men of our line have all had families. We have all had work in the village. We have not been able to spend many years on a cliff. The stone has waited. It will wait further. It is not in a hurry. The young stoneworker, who did not yet have a family, and who was free of the village in a way his masters had not been, climbed the cliff. It took him 3 days. He reached the stone on a morning of late autumn. He sat down beside it. He looked at it. The stone was up close, larger than he had imagined, and stranger. Its surface, when he touched it, was warm. Not hot, only warm, the warmth of a thing that had been quietly alive in its own slow way for a long time. He set up a small camp at the foot of the stone. He had brought tools. He took them out. He struck the stone in the first months in 100 different ways. The stone did not chip. The stone did not crack. The stone, when struck, absorbed the blow as if the blow had been an offering. The tools, after the first year, began to wear away. The stoneworker had brought new ones, and these wore away also. By the second year, he had run out of tools. He sat with the stone. He sat for the next 38 years. He had not planned this. He had come up to the cliff intending to work. The work had ceased to be possible. He had stayed because the going back was somehow also not possible. He had been changed in the first 2 years by his closeness to the stone. The stone had not in any visible way done anything to him. It had only been there. But its being there day and night in his field of attention had begun to alter him. He grew very calm. He stopped, after the 3rd year, eating much. He drank water from a small spring on the cliff. He ate occasionally plants that grew in the rock cracks. The village in the 7th year sent up a search party, which found him alive and well and which carried his news back down. The village after that sent up provisions twice a year. The stoneworker accepted them. He did not, in his accepting, return. He grew over the decades into something the village did not have a name for. He was not a hermit exactly. Hermits in that province were known to pray. He did not pray. He was not a holy man exactly. Holy men were known to teach. He did not teach. He was only the man who had gone up to the stone and had not come back. In the 40th year, on a morning of clear cold light, the stone opened. It did not open by being struck. It opened the way a flower opens slowly from a single point. the seam appearing where no seam had been, spreading slowly across the face of the stone, the surface parting in a kind of unfolding rather than a breaking. The stoneworker, who was by then very old, sat watching. Inside the stone was a man. He was not a corpse. He was not asleep. He was, in some way the stoneworker could not have named, simply present. He had the body of an old man, but the bearing of a young one. His skin was the color of weathered bronze. His eyes were the eyes of someone who had been waiting a very long time, and who was now, at last, no longer waiting. He wore no clothes. He was clothed somehow in his own composure. He stepped out of the stone. He sat down beside the stoneworker on the small ledge of the cliff. He looked at the valley below. He said, "You are the first to come, the first to wait long enough." The stoneworker did not know what to say. He had not in 40 years prepared a question. The man inside the stone said, "I will tell you what I am because you have earned the telling. I am not exactly a man. I am not exactly a god. I am the form that the work has been moving toward. I have been in the stone since the stone began. I am older than the stone. I am what every village in the valley and every human born has been slowly being shaped into. The mountains have been shaping themselves into me. The rivers, the forests, the slow weather of the centuries. I am what is at the end of the work. Are you a god? No, I am what the work makes. A god is something else. A god is what the work begins with. I am what the work ends with. I am younger than the gods. I am older than the men. I am the form between. Why have you been in the stone? Because the form cannot be produced anywhere else. The stone is the place of the waiting. There are stones scattered throughout the world. Every village has one somewhere. Most are never opened. The form in those stones waits. When a waiter comes, when a man or a woman is willing to give 40 years, the stone opens. The form steps out. It walks in the village for a while, then it goes back. The work is not, in any single life, completed. The cosmos is shaping itself slowly. I am only one of the openings. There will be others. The stoneworker wept. He had not understood in 40 years of sitting what he had been sitting for. He had thought vaguely that he was looking for a treasure or testing a story. He had been, in fact, holding a space in which the cosmos could briefly look at itself. The man inside the stone came down the cliff with the stoneworker. They walked together the 3 days back into the village. The village did not, at first, recognize the man as anything in particular. He was an old man, thin, walking with the old stoneworker who had been gone for 40 years. The villagers brought them food. They brought the man clothes. He accepted the clothes. He stayed in the village for 7 years. He did not preach. He did not teach. He walked through the village each day slowly with the old stoneworker on his arm. He sat in the square in the evenings. He drank water from the well. He ate the food the villagers brought him. The village changed in those 7 years. The children, in the years the man was there, were less afraid of being themselves. They became, over the course of the 7 years, more articulate, more curious, kinder. The marriages of the village held more easily. The old people died with less grief. The work of the villagers in their fields, in their workshops, in their kitchens, went better than it had gone in generations. The villagers could not have said why. The man did not, in any visible way, intervene. His presence was the form the village had been shaping itself toward. In his being there, the village was, briefly, what it was for. He left after 7 years without warning. The old stoneworker had died in the 3rd year. The man had stayed 4 more years after the stoneworker's death, walking now alone. On a morning in autumn, he walked out of the village, up the road toward the cliff, and was not seen again. The villagers, when they investigated, found that the stone had closed. The stone was, on the cliff, a single dark mass again, unbroken, with no seam where the seam had been. The villagers stood that day at the foot of the cliff, looking up. They understood in some way that did not require explanation what they had hosted. They did not name it. They did not write about it. They went home and continued their lives. They did, however, in their own quiet ways, begin to look, in their own valleys and their own mountains, for the small dark masses that might be stones. Some of them found one. None of them, in that generation, was a waiter. They left the stones alone. Each generation since in that valley has produced, in time, a waiter. The stone opens, the man steps out, the village is briefly what it was for, the man goes back. The village does not in the years between panic. They know by inheritance that the Anthropos is not absent in the years between. He is in the stone, the way a face is in unworked marble. The waiters are simply the carvers. The cosmos is the chisel. Every village, the elders say, has such a stone. Most do not know it. The ones that know it, and that produce in their generations the waiters, are blessed in ways the other villages cannot account for. The stone is, in the deepest sense, what the village is for. The rest of the village's life, the farming, the marrying, the cooking, the dying, is the slow nourishment of the waiters. The Anthropos is in the stone. He is the form. The cosmos has been shaping itself to produce. He has been in the stone since the stone began. He is older than the gods of the village. He is younger than the men. He is the form between. The stone is opened. Only by waiting, the waiter must give 40 years. The man steps out. He walks among you for 7 years. He goes back. Every village has such a stone. Most do not know it. The ones that know it produce in their generations the waiters. The waiters are what the village is for.